All right. We'll get to it. I don't know what we talked about. We don't talk about sports for longer than that was a good sports moment. That was a good sports moment. Come on now. I know
Nice job,
some of
bros.
y'all fans.
Good job,
yeah,
bro.
Good game, bro. Slap me on
bro?
the ass.
Sports. Yeah.
Or like Corey, my husband, always like, he's like, sports. And he'll like drag the S off forever. But okay,
shoot
what time
the
is
goal.
It? Right. Put it in the hole. What time is it?
Oh my God.
Ask
your
aunties.
Yes.
This is a good Ask Your Aunties this week. And like everyone kind of does anonymous at this point because even if they don't need to, because this was not a bad one, it's an interesting one. It says, what's the best advice for a couple when you're together that's planning on moving in together within the next year? One works full-time and the other will be going to school full-time. And that was short and brief.
Yeah. I would say the first thing you need to talk about is financial responsibility. That would be the first thing. And making sure that you have a game plan of bills being covered, who's going to cover what, if it's 50-50, if it's 60-40, 70-30, or whatever the case is, make sure that that works first for you. Because the most important thing when you move on is making sure that your home is taken care of. Now, when it comes to everything else, I also talk about, space. Make sure that you have a game plan for making sure that you fill your own cup up too. It's very easy in that first year to get so wrapped up in your partner that you forget to start taking care of yourself, and you find yourself like getting irritated about the littlest things, and you be like, who the hell are you? How come I didn't know this? And you're like, yeah, bitch, I knew it. I just have my own space to go back to vent to. So that's how I'll deal with it. Well, guess what, bitch? You can't run to your crib anymore. You gotta go to the kitchen, to the living room, or the bathroom, take your ass for a walk or something, So I would just say, figure out that, together as a couple, and just enjoy it, like just don't put too much planning into it because you will overcomplicate it and you'll miss out on so much. So,
yeah, I'll piggyback on what you said because my mind immediately went to the finance part of it because you have to realize that these kind of decisions, like moving in, and job changes, which this will be a job change. You're going to school, you're leaving your job to go to school full time. In so many words, are two of the five most stressful things, the biggest stresses that one will experience in life. And depending upon how you handle stress and how you express yourself when you are stressed, that can add undue stress onto your relationship. And so, I would just say, just from a personal perspective, if you guys are deciding to move in together, I would hope that you're moving in, to a place that you feel very comfortable that on one income, you would not be stressed out about.
Yep,
and
smart.
I think the other, and if you're planning on upgrading as a part of your moving in, but then you're downgrading your finances, that's a recipe for disaster. You will be getting evicted. Just saying, like you don't need you don't need that. Look, you don't need that when you're trying to go through midterm. So just be cognizant about your financial situation because you're already going to be engaging in so many other things that are going to pull you in different directions. You're going to be living with somebody that you've never lived with before. And just because you could be dating somebody for 2 years, but if you don't live with them, you don't know the ins and the outs. How dank do they tear up the bathroom when they go into it? Like, do they have, like, are they clean when you're not around? What are there are all kinds of quirks that you never really thought would bother you because you're in the honeymoon phase of the relationship, because you have kind of this ideal of what it's supposed to look like. But when you're in close quarters, and guess what? We still in a pandemic. So, at the end of the day, it's not like, you could just, go out and hang out with a bunch of your friends. Well, I know some people do, even if there's a pandemic going on. But you just have to be cognizant of those kind of dynamics before you make those decisions. I think moving in with a partner, if your relationship is solid and you're feeling that's the next step in your relationship, I think that's a beautiful thing. But you have to be realistic. And the last thing that I'll say, going back to the finances thing, I personally have always been of the mindset that you split the bills based on your income. And if you're not holding down any income, then you two have to come up with some kind of an arrangement around what that's going to look like while you are in school. So does that mean that you're going to be taking a part-time job while you're in school full-time? Are you going to be, just going to school and studying, and then while school is out, you're going to be picking, like, you need to have those kind of conversations so that there's no surprises. Because guess what, boo? You probably got bills, whether you have a job or not, that have nothing to do with your new boo, or not your new boo, but your move-in boo. So how is that going to be handled? If you've got, student loan payments, car payments, insurance, credit cards,
you got to eat,
whatever, right? Benihana, credit, whatever. Like, you have to come up with a game plan on how that stuff is going to be taken care of. And then make sure that you both are aligned. Because the last thing that you want to have happen is, while you're in the midst of school and you're struggling, you're starting to have an argument and creating resentment for you and your situation because you guys didn't talk it out.
Yeah, I agree. I think the financial, as in any situation, but specifically this one, will be a big one, just because if one's working, and I think that's almost maybe why you put that sentence in the question, because it's like one works full time and one's going to school full time. So there's that dynamic. Also, for the person that's going to school, well, even just for both sides, like, I hope the person that's working supports the school part, because yes, you're working full time. That's a lot of hours. But a lot of times with school, if you're going to full time, there's like, you're going to school and then you're studying, and then you got study groups. And I hope they don't be like, well, you're not spending time with me now. That's why we want to move in together and things like that. I hope that person supports the fruition of school, because school is a whole damn thing, So, and then on the flip side, I hope the person that is going to school has the ability to prioritize and try to shave off time potentially for your relationship if it's important for you to move in together. So it's just like, that's going to be a whole nother dynamic that you're just going to have to think fully through, that I hope you thought fully through, because time slips away. Like, Corey and I both work full time and like got the podcast and stuff, and he's doing his thing on the content, and it's just like, we've been together damn near 9 years, and that's still something that we still try to work on. It's just like, damn, you worked all day, you got here late, and you're still upstairs working, and this, so it's still there, even though we've talked it out and been together forever. So y'all already hit the financial part. That's going to be huge, but almost this time portion of it, and each supporting each other in their job and in school, is going to be a whole conversation I think you're going to need to have, because there's going to be days where you're stressed with schoolwork. There's going to be days he comes home from work and he's stressed from what happened at work. And then you want to vent to your boo, but then he's stressed about calculus, or whatever. So it's just like, I hope you have that conversation, because that's going to be the real part. And obviously there's going to be like, they left the dishes in the sink while you're studying. Like, there's going to be little bullshit shit that come up that's real in the moment.
And that's with any relationship.
Exactly. It's real in the moment. When you think that, you're like, damn, did it have to go there? It didn't need to be that deep. But in the moment, that shit sets you the fuck off.
Okay.
One thought out of the place and out of the hamper, just off the
set you
end.
The fuck off.
Yeah.
That's happened there a week.
Right. I will say one thing that I would encourage, although like reflecting on what you bring to the relationship is great, but also thinking how like, how it's going to affect you too. Like, it's great to know, like, okay, well, yeah, like, this is how much I make. I'll be able to do this for me. But also think about what you're going to be able to do to the relationship, because it's going to be a completely different dynamic. And you can't go into it thinking it's going to be exactly how it was as you being two individuals living completely different. So your mental space, like how you view your relationship as a whole, is going to have to change, because although you want to make sure that, you want to make sure that you can take care and handle everything yourself, your relationship is now involved, where now your mindset now has to start thinking about the other person that lives with you. Like your mindset has to be there, So whether you're the student or the person working the full-time job, you have to ask yourself, okay, what can I still do for my partner, even though I'm working full-time or I'm going to school full-time? Because if you're not, that means you're not caring about your partner, you're focused on yourself. And it's like, well, what's the point then? You could just live by yourself.
Yeah. And hopefully you find, like, if you can afford it, like, especially when I was in an apartment, get a second room if you can. If you can afford it, I get it. If you can't, like, don't stretch your means, especially when you're in school. But try to find a space for you to have, okay, this is where I'm going to be able to do my schoolwork. This is where I'm going to be able, if I need to work from home during a pandemic, where I could do. Easier said than done. I get it. Completely understand it. But even if you're in a 1-bedroom or a loft or whatever, trying to set those boundaries, saying, okay, this is my space that I could concentrate, put my AirPods in, or if you're in an apartment building and they have a space you could rent out or something, you could just go and sign your name and be able to do your work there. Trying to set those boundaries, because they're like, thank God during this pandemic, living in the house we're in compared to, like, say when I lived in Chicago in like a 650 square foot apartment.
Right.
We're able to have our space, and it's okay to say, I need some space. I just need some time for myself, whether that's a bubble bath or whatever. Carve that out, especially in your, like, if it's a newer relationship, because it's okay to say, I just need a moment to chill for myself.
That's a very real thing. And I would, if I were in that situation, I would prefer to downgrade my amenities to have the extra space. Like, to have, if you live in a 1-bedroom, you both live in a 1-bedroom, and you're looking at like a 2-bedroom that's like, got all the bells and whistles, probably not it. I would look for a 2-bedroom that doesn't have as much, that gives you a little bit more flexibility, because I would look at this as an investment. You both are making an investment in the relationship in more ways than one. And in order for this investment to be as fruitful as it can be, try to mitigate a lot of those stresses. And in this COVID life, where you just can't go to the Starbucks or go to the, to whatever your coffee shop is that you would typically go to kind of like sit your laptop down and be there all day, and you have a space outside of your apartment, you don't have that luxury now. So, you have to think about, what do I need in my place or my apartment or my home, that gives me the ability to have a separate place so that I can do my thing. Because listen, when you're wanting to study, he's going to be wanting to,
watch
cook,
TV,
watch TV, listen to music, do his nails and talk to his friends and do whatever, and that's all noise that's going to be happening. If you're sitting up there on the sofa trying to study with your earphones on, that only does so much. So you just need to really be thinking about that.
Oh, and one other thing to say too is, expect all the planning that you decide to do to go out the window and it not to work.
That part.
Because let me tell you, you could have the plan like, oh, we're gonna pay like this, we're gonna eat like this, we're gonna live like this, and then life hits, girl. And you catch the wrong attitude, or we go through a pandemic, or you just get sick and tired of seeing the same damn draws on the same damn person. Like something, like, expect something to happen, just to be like a monkey wrench and just throw everything out. So just be flexible. Also be as much as you plan, just be flexible and just plan for. There's gonna be moments where you ain't gonna be happy, and that is okay, because that's a relationship.
Be flexible in
it ain't
and
Cinderella.
out of the bedroom.
It ain't like the Black Cinderella on Disney Plus now. Shit, it don't just happen like that, bitch. For a plain country pumpkin to become a golden carrot.
You may also want to pay and trade too. So it don't hurt to throw a little booty his way, or
Just
whatever
saying.
you got.
Blow on the booty
sweeten the
hole.
pot.
Booty hole. Okay.
I think that's just the message of this whole episode. That's gonna be blow on the booty hole.
Yes.
Oh man, but yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. Continue to send your Ask Your Aunties questions to aya@minorityReport.com or DM us at Minority Report on Instagram. I don't know why I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable on that, but Instagram, MT Report on Twitter, TikTok, Minority Report, wherever. Just send us some new ones. It's 2021. I'm sure you have some new stuff, and I'm sure this is within the COVID life. So thank you for this question. But man, yeah, relationships are something. Whew.
Who they are.
Ooh,
How
Jesus.
did it become the thing that everybody wanted? Why are we hardwired to want to
Companionship.
be in this? Yeah, like
I blame Disney putting these damn dreams in our.
I'm with you.
Like everybody
I'm with
wants
you.
to be Ariel. Everybody
The
wants
more
to be
you
Cinderella.
know.
Right. That's true.
That's the story I wanted.
Prince
Right.
Charming. Oh.
Man,
That
girl,
does not-
bye.
Does not exist.
You mean Mr. Irk my
Not at all.
nerves?
Right.
Right.